He is widely recognized for enabling workforce adoption of digital transformation journeys and building future-ready organizations through digital HR, agile frameworks and design thinking. With over 2 decades of global experience, Mr. Prasad has steered transformation across Fortune 100 companies in the US, Europe, APAC and India. Prior to his current role at Reliance, he served as the Global Head, Digital Transformation and Learning at ITC Infotech, Assistant Vice President, Digital Transformation and Corporate HR at Lafarge Hollywood. Also pleased to welcome Mr. Ranjan Banerjee, Group Head, Human Resources at Berger Paints India. He has led Berger Group's HR agenda from the Kolkata headquarters. Across nearly 3 decades, his leadership includes roles such as CHRO at Epsilon Carbon, Senior Vice President HR and IR at Aditya Birla Group, Senior Vice President HR at India Power, CHRO at
Kumar's career spanning over 28 years, covering the entire spectrum of human resource management, from shop floor operations to enterprise level strategic leadership across diverse industries and geographies in highly competitive business environments both in India and abroad. She then took on a role at Azure Networks, and in 2008 she joined the IBO Group, which turned out to be a very formative stage of her career. Over more than a decade here, she rose to become Senior Director of HR. From her earlier roles to her current leadership positions, she has demonstrated a strong capacity for driving people strategy, talent management and culture change initiatives. Ms. Asha, it is an honor to host you at IIFT Kolkata, and we look forward to gaining.
He effectively bridges academic thought with real-world applications. We are delighted to have him to moderate this discussion on the intersection of AI and talent transformation. Sir, all over you. All over to you.
A fantastic morning to all of you. Is the problem solved now? Yes. Okay. So usually, as I was saying, I ask this simple question whenever I initiate my session, that how are you guys doing? But today I think I don't need that question, isn't it? Because all the pumped up faces that I see in the audience, it just tells me that we are simply looking forward to this session. And why not? The topic of the session is so intriguing, right? AI, which is everywhere, right? Just a couple of years ago, we were looking at AI simply as a buzzword in our LinkedIn feed, right? But simply today we cannot live without it. We love it, we hate it, we are afraid of it, but there is something about it that we cannot ignore. So let me start this panel. So at the first, I would like to request Dr. Prasad to share his experiences about this crazy world of AI and HR.
So good morning. So he was just checking, your presence, not physical, but whether you are, mentally and spiritually present in the room or not. So I think it's a one of the, I can say, very prominent topic which we have selected. And of course, when you talk of any technology, there is a very important component is the, the human being. Because technology, you can go, you can grow, you can, expand and all. But the human mind is very, core to it. And being a part of this particular round table, I think CHRO are the custodian, basically to drive this kind of a culture in the organization. So currently, I can say AI in action, agree or not agree? Yes, so when we say AI in action, so you talk of, anything which is in Wall Street to the Park Street, everywhere is AI. And we are all, whether we want or not, it's going to push our boundaries. When we say boundaries, it is going to, bring lot of digital infusion in your day-to-day activity. And I can give you some of the examples, how this AI has become a Kamdhenu for all of us. So Kamdhenu, it's a divine cow, which fulfill all your wishes. But if you see in the organizations, the way the landscape is changing, and why we are here, we just wanted to share, some of our credentials, how we are driving AI into our organization and how it is going to impact you, because anyway from campus to corporate is not very far off for you. So your readiness is going to define that how you are going to grab this particular world, which is basically from this campus to getting in the corporate, and what are those critical skills which is being not only a talk of corporate talk or the talk of the boardroom, but it has become a more important component of all the boardrooms. So AI, I feel, everybody is using, and AI is available with you 24/7 on your fingertips. Right or wrong? Yes, sir. It is available, and it is, Gone are the days when we are talking about the invention of, say, the engine. Gone are the days when we started, talking about the internet. Gone are the days when we are talking about the smartphone. Now everybody is talking about the AI, which is going to bring a big disruptions. And I can give you some numbers also. If I was just reading one particular research, and the finding says that the potential of AI going forward will be 4.4 trillion. That is USD I am talking of, US dollars. And currently, talk of any of the organizations, 92% of their focus are going already on the AI. So how to bring the AI? And a lot of the people are saying, okay, AI is going to replace a lot of the jobs and all. And I think we agree to disagree that yes, it's going to take our job also. But if you see by 2030, the number of the jobs which are going to go away, all the repetitive jobs, we have already started seeing, if you go to the office and all, there is a data entry people, there is the receptionist, all gone. Nothing is required there. So of course, around 92 million job will go off, but within I think coming 7 years, they are also going to generate around 170 million jobs. So that's the story, because I still remember when I was working with the government of India, and I came to Calcutta for some kind of a transformational program, and I can name it also. That's a Ministry of Corporate Affairs in 21st century. And when I met with the regional director and also the registrar of companies, there are a lot of shout was which was related with ki ye nahi hoga, wo nahi hoga, computerization hoga, the job will go off and all. Lot of the things were there, but you just see currently, if you see the matured version of the MCA 21, that is the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Earlier 2200 people were driving this particular initiative. Now it is done by only 600, managing almost 6.5 lakhs companies across India, pan India I'm talking of. And now you can do the registration of company by sitting anywhere in the world. You can file your the annual report by sitting anywhere from the world. No need of any physical presence of board of directors. So why I'm giving those examples, because these are very important examples how the landscape of the technology is changing and how this AI is also going to augment this particular thing. We have also started thinking aloud and being a part of one of the biggest conglomerate in India. We are going to be India's first data center, which is going to handle not in terabyte and all, it's going to handle the tetrabyte kind of things, and we already started establishing the infrastructure for that. My company, which is more into I think technology part, oil and gas and all, but if I talk of the AI, particularly in the finance, which is more prevalent, so we have taken very recently we have taken two major initiatives. And why I'm saying this, because it's not only the MBA student, those who needs to grab the AI, but it is also important for the corporate people also to upskill and reskill and get themselves up to ready for anything which is coming. So for the AI is concerned, so we have started two initiatives. One initiative, we ask all the business leaders in the organizations, can you come up some of the use case where you feel that AI can bring a lot of values on that. Because when you give the ownership to the leaders, they will start thinking, ye kar sakte hain ki nahi kar sakte hain, whether it is possible or not. So they started thinking and all. And I think within a month, we got almost 100 use cases. And I will tell you, all the 100 use cases were majorly from, I can say, the finance tribe. Then what we did, we have segregated, we had a lot of the brainstorming sessions with the leaders, and we selected only 25, which is a case where the impact will be very high across the business. And now currently we are getting into a upskilling and reskilling part where every leaders and every employees has to go for some kind of a courses on the name of digital dexterity, again focusing on AI, that you have to complete these particular courses and you have to conduct one sessions. And that sessions will be basically for all the employees, how the AI is going to bring a lot of things. Because if you see the AI, I think generative AI is, I am saying it is now going reducing, because people are still they are not very comfortable on doing the prompt engineering. अभी ये मेल लिखने का है, उसको आप अपलोड कर दो, then they will, come with some new version, again you give a prompt and all. Now this is the era, where we have started talking about agentic AI, we started talking about the cloud AI, we started talking about the quantum AI and all. And I will also explain, when you talk of the agentic and all, it's nothing, it's a digital worker who can solve your problem, complex to complex problem, based on only two things, one is of course the machine learning and the deep learning. And then again, the next layer is related to algorithm and the AI part. And they are basically, coming with not only defining the workflow. For example, I go to the, say any retail shops and all, and I do have a laundry list of the products, which I wanted to buy it. You simply just upload on the app. That app will go and they will, they will search what is the best product which is available with the best quality and the best, the price. And they will come with the recommendation. Now these are the, the products, and this is the price of the product. I have done all kind of the comparative study. Now the only thing which you have to do is just pay and go back. The product which you are buying, that will be delivered to your home. So now AI is now become a very complementary and supplementary, and it's become a part and parcel of your life. So high tech is also required when you talk of the high touch. So high touch is also there, and I will take, later on, when we talk of the talent strategies, when you talk of the HR, how the HR is also getting impacted only because of the AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad. It was really insightful to learn from his experiences also that what he is observing and has to say about the AI and the HR landscape.
Yeah, thank you. And good morning, everybody. Yes. See, the way I look at it is as follows. The way the socio-economic political environment is getting disrupted on a rapid scale, almost every passing week. As also, this is the first factor. And the second factor is the kind of consumer preferences and consumer expectations that are rising and getting stiffer. The standards of expectation from products and services organizations is rising. Taking these two factors together, AI is but inevitable. It's a tool which has to be leveraged so that you can respond to fast changes equally fast. So that's the first takeaway. The second, we were going through a couple of research articles on this topic, and how does the world of work get impacted by AI? You see, research says that in 66% of the jobs, 1 out of every 3 tasks is going to get automated, not full jobs. Right? And by 2030, around 35 million digital jobs would have got created. Taking this, while holding this fact, you look at the other fact, technical ingenuity and progress is shaping our lives. Lives are getting longer, society will start aging, but available talent will be there. People will move in and out of retirement so long as they can stay relevant. Now, taking all of this into account, how fluent you are in terms of data and AI is going to make the cut. How are you going to be assessed in the world of work? Learning velocity is what is going to impact us. How quickly you learn and how quickly you adapt. How does HR as a function, as a profession change? In a fast changing world, change is going to become a day in and day out thing. You have a strategy and a business plan today, you might find that next week that has become irrelevant. Having said that, how does the HR function and the HR leaders enable and guide the leaders of the business to navigate this change process? how do you prepare the organization to carry out or navigate through this rapid change which is impacting an organization like an avalanche? What are the psychological constructs that need to be brought to play? And basis those constructs, what kind of advice and coaching are you going to do for the leaders of the business is what's going to be the role of HR. That's how I see the role of HR transitioning. If you look at, Professor Banerjee was saying that what will happen to, would you have a clone or a chatbot HR manager? Well, if you want to limit HR, or if we want to limit HR to just onboarding and process improvements and onboarding to retirement and exit, then you can put a clone and a chatbot and that will take care of everything else. But if you want to help the organization navigate this tricky process of change, which is going to come in every week, every fortnight, every quarter you will be punished with a new set of changes that is going to impact the economy. Right? And the socio-political stage, you can see what's happening. And it's not just about President Trump. Nationalism is going to become the way politicians and political leaders across the globe are going to work and act. In that kind of a situation, how do you integrate globally? And that is where the HR function is going to play a role. How do you enable and coach the leaders of the organization to navigate this very perplex and a very complex process of change? What will remain within the purview of human touch, coaching, communication, purposeful communication, empathy at workplace, and of course therapeutic change. Because please understand that out of the workforce which is going to hit the organization in the next couple of years, 66 to 70% will come in with serious mental health issues. Enabling the leaders of the organization to deal with those mental health issues is something which AI can't help you. AI can enable you with some content, but the skill has to be learned and practiced. The understanding has to soak in, and the taboo around mental health has to disappear. So that's a psychological change that you have to, mindset change that you have to bring about within the organization. And that's, I think, the way, what does human resources get to do in the future? I think these are the three things that the HR function needs to do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like, with that particular context, see once I recall my days 3 decades back, once I started my career, that point of time, attendance, typically being a traditional manufacturing setup, we used to record the attendance by recording P, sitting at gate and recording 9 o'clock enter. And now we move the era geofencing. The people who is entering in my premises, they are automatically their attendance recorded. So see the technological transformation. While we have to take the leave, I recall my days. One time I have to take leave for 10 days. So that point of time, during my era, I am talking about almost 30 years back. So we have to jot down the applications and showcase, reach to our bosses, sir, मेरे को छुट्टी लेना है, तबीयत खराब है, ऐसा वैसा. And by that way, big Gyan, our HOD used to give. If you are going to take leave, how things will be managed and all those things, why you are taking 10 days leave? Do these things and reduce the leave from 10 to 5 days. And that was very touching moment. I would like to share a real example. I put an application to my boss for 15 days leave for my father eye operation. And that point of time he suggested glaucoma, my father having glaucoma. So once I reached to him for applications, so he said, where you are going? I said, I am coming to Calcutta was the nearest place for us. Basically I am from Patna. So that was that point of time, that was medical hub, all those variety of hospitals, Ruby Hospital and all are very well known hospitals that point of time. So he, once I reached to him, then of my HOD, so he said, कहाँ जा रहे हो? मैंने बोला कलकत्ता जा रहा हूँ. कलकत्ता से अच्छा शंकर नेत्रालय चले जाओ, वहाँ पे ग्लूकोमा का ट्रीटमेंट अच्छा है. So how it evolved? Nowadays we have employee self-service portal. So I am applying the leave automatically. If my boss is not approving that leave, so what I turn to my boss is toxic. But if he is not instantly, so how things are evolving, typically at traditional industries and all, na? So this is how the transformational change is happening. And typically, old days compliance manager, HR typically termed as a compliance manager. Now, we HR are termed as a...
Let's move to the next panelist, Ms. Subramanian, and let's hear from her side of the story, that how she is probably helping other organizations to run their AI story.
Hi, good morning. Thanks Naman. Thanks a lot for the dignitaries on the stage also. And let me start with how I'm helping my own organization first, and then probably other organizations. To make it a little lighter, it seems to be very serious actually, and the kind of topic what we are talking is also very heavy, right? So I'll start with one quick story what happened recently, a couple of years back maybe. So I was working on Arogya Setu. How many of you know Arogya Setu? Yeah, we've all used, right? So I was the only HR, it started in Make My Trip, and I was in Make My Trip, and I was the only HR who was working for a language translation, okay? Now it came in 16 languages, and I know Kannada, I know English, Hindi and Tamil and a bit of Telugu, and I can understand Malayalam because I've picked up the craze for watching Malayalam movies, okay? Now, it was supposed to come in 16 languages. So 4 languages I could understand what it was talking. The other language like Urdu, the other language like Punjabi, Gujarati, all of this, when we converted the text to that language through AI, okay, and I made these Punjabis, I made Gujaratis, all my colleagues to come and sit and listen to it, right? The AI had literally, I think there is an article about it, you can probably read about it. The AI had literally picked up all the foul language in that particular language and put it up, right, as the instructions. So now, let me come to the reality, right? A lot of you are yawning, please don't yawn. I am feeling yawn, like sleeping, right? So now let me come to the reality check. Are we really what is this AI washing? Are we really are getting panic, and is it just a fad we are all talking about, or is there some reality in this? My dear friends, yes, there's a lot of reality in this, and there is a lot of empowering which is going on for human, right? And you can take it as our dear colleague told that it is from your, it can be for your transport, it can be for your travel, or it can be on signals, or it can be at your house, or at office, or your recruiting. You take any damn thing, right? AI is integrated. Now, what are your roles, right? As students or a MBA students or anybody, what is my role? You're all more worried about like, what am I going to become obsolete? So listen to this. Basically, there are 3 types of this AI education. One is, if I'm an HR or a finance person, or if I'm an admin, operation strategy, anything of it, right? A basic AI knowledge is something what I'll expect as a CHRO in my organization. So I'm taking an HR. So the person obviously has to know like, co-piloting or maybe ChatGPT as the chief guest was talking about, right? Like, we go and first look at ChatGPT because it's got all the answers. And like, I'm lazy to go and do my research. A lot of us are, so, and let's accept it and nothing wrong about it. So I need basic knowledge for people who enter the organization for my power roles or support roles, right? That is where you people have to be very clear about that you don't need to do a PhD in AI, ML or deep understanding and get into an organization. You can manage with basic understanding of your ChatGPTs, co-pilots, or your like Office 365, or your office internal office tools, whatever we use. Right. The second one comes for the technology folks. Now, what are the technology folks? For whom am I talking? Java, right? C++, or your Kubernetes, or testing, product managers, project managers, right? All these people come under the category of technology group for me. When they come in, I would look forward for a standardized understanding of AI, where they can learn a new technology, right? They have a capability, agility or consumption power of understanding and learning new technology. That is for the second category people. The third category is people who are AIML, right? Who have deep technology understanding, who has deep consumption power to agility and new technologies and to understand what is happening in AI. So this is all it is about. The fad, the talk or the buzz, everything conspires into these 3 things: having basic knowledge, having a moderate knowledge and having a deep understanding. Above all these things, what are the things what I look at when a person comes in, or like, in an organization? Let me take that up in the next question which Raman will ask. So I think you people should not get like, worked up about it. Am I going to become obsolete? Absolutely not, right? No, you will not be obsolete. Let's understand which are the kind of roles which are going to get obsolete, which are the kind of roles which are going to stay and which will enhance and grow in the industry in our future questions and discussions. Thank you.
As well as these people, the MBA grads who are coming into the industry, to have a realistic expectations about what to do. Right? So we would like to start.
Could you restate the question a little?
Yes. So MBA grads, when they are entering the industry now, they from them from the point of view of the knowledge of AI. How do they integrate AI into their domain? How do they make use of it to be a little bit more efficient on those lines?
So I'll tell you what we technical knowledge, having gone through internships and projects and so on. What would I and my organization expect from an MBA grad in today's time and age, when AI is going to be the most sought after tool? There are 2 things that we would expect. One, you must have a great degree of imagination. So the competence of imagination, imaginative skills. Why am I saying this? Is because once you enter an organization and start working in your particular function, you should be able to imagine to what extent you would like to use AI and how far would you like to go to be able to get predictability out of the unpredictable environment in which the businesses operate. Correct? So that's one. So the first skill, imaginative skills, ability to imagine. The second is integrative thinking. So, I'll give you a small example. Everything needs to finally connect on to the bottom line. And we have systems, integrated digitalized systems called ERP. Where will you use AI to make it faster and more productive? So you need to be able to think integratively for the entire organization. So for example, when a person comes in, when an employee joins the organization, comes in with certain skill sets and is expected to give a certain outcome. Over a period of time, he or she will be expected to deliver a different outcome because the market scenario has changed. What kind of learning initiatives do you need to push in at this point in time? That's one. Having said that, from an organization perspective, you should be able to think that if I need this kind of a skill that this particular employee possesses, where else can I place him in the organization? So the ability to think integratively. So for example, customer, let's look at the customer. And let's look at my business, which is paint business. The consumer at the home is not my ultimate customer. The influencer who influences their decisions to apply a particular kind of coating is the person who is my customer. So the dealer, the contractor, the painter is actually Berger's customer or a paint company's customer. Now AI should be able to go much beyond this. I should be able to cut through that. Saying, what is the end consumer at the home, sitting at home, expecting? What kind of offerings can I give directly to that person? And how can he or she look at his own home? How far can he or she dream about it? Can I use AI? And that's where, from there, a nudge goes off to my painter or to the contractor or to the dealer saying, go and tap this particular individual and this particular household. Go and tap that particular housing complex which is just coming up. And this is the kind of people who are going to get into those kind of housing complexes, and therefore, this is the kind of products you can pitch. From there, bring predictability in this kind of analytics which happens. And therefore my sales people, my product development people, my marketing guys should be able to get those kind of insights from AI, saying, if this is the kind of housing complex that is coming up with this kind of high rises, and this is the kind of income bracket, and this is the kind of locality in which it is being placed and being positioned, these are the kind of products that would perhaps sell better. This is the kind of interior designer that these individuals who will be occupying those houses will require. So a nudge goes off to the interior designer who is part of my my ecosystem. So there's a lot of things that you can do out of that. And then bringing out from that, the employee who will be servicing that particular customer, what kind of skills and what kind of knowledge should be able to go with, and what kind of questions are likely to come up from the consumer. So the whole thing can be integrated. So integrative thinking is another skill or competence, along with imagination, which I believe I would expect from MBA grads to come in with. The rest is for us to train internally and equip you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think one of the key points that Mr.
Which talks about the digital twin, name of any tool. You understand this digital twin, correct? Okay, or I can say smart manufacturing, or I can, say industry 4.0. So these are the basically one piece. Second piece, basically, if you see when you come, say from some of the generative AI is 30% more with the leaders. So if you see, if the employees is working, because they encounter with, daily kind of a transactions, and they try to use, some of the tools which are permissible in the organizations, and which can be used. But you're not using any kind of a tool which is a deep kind of a tool. So like, in my organizations, just to understand, what is the mood of the organization. Now I'm not talking about the mood of the people or the mood of the employees. So you have, some kind of ecosystem in the organizations where they can gauge the sensitivity of the employees and they can say, okay, now the mood of the organizations today is this, and as a leader you have to put this kind of interventions. So the gone are the days, when you are completing your appraisal cycle, getting some kind of increment and promotion and all, and then HR is coming into the picture and is asking, okay, now with the employee survey, tell us how you're finding the HR services in the organization. No, it's all now real time. If I wanted to gauge the employees mood for the organization, I should have some kind of a system in place where I can gauge on the real time basis, so that I can take the real time of decisions, like in the recruitment part and all. So usually if you see, it's a part of the manpower planning, and which is again a responsibility of the talent acquisitions and the CHRO of the organizations. So you will do some kind of analysis, and based on that, the business visions of the organizations, and also what is the manpower is required in what particular skill, they will come up with some kind of a plan and all. But currently everything is changing very fast, and they require everything on the fingertips. So I just wanted to know, how many people are basically in the organizations, those who are MBA in analytics. So if you go back to the Excel kind of a scenarios, somebody will do the VLOOKUP and then come up with the report. Okay, now there are 50 people, those who are MBA in analytics. But currently the system and the data are available on real-time basis. It's just a, let's say a fraction of a second you have to change the gear only, and you can see the data, visualize the data in front of you. So the capability which I am talking of currently, it's not, you should get only theory. If I take one more examples, you said just see the, the student, those who are completing their MBA and all, sorry, MBBS. If I talk with the MBBS people, they, in the daytime, they do the classes, okay? I'm talking of the MBBS graduates. In the night time, they go to the hospital. You just see, how they are honing their skills with the patients on daily basis. Are you getting the opportunity like this? How many of you doing, within the course curriculum, apart from 2 months of your internship, you have done at least 5-6 live projects, or maybe 10 live projects? Number will be very less, because ultimately you have to come to the corporate, and early you should reach to the corporate and start trying to solve their problem. Maybe physically it is not possible, but there are a lot of organizations which is providing a platform through which you can you can solve a lot of the problem, which can be solved by sitting here in this campus itself. So your readiness is very important, because what I am seeing right now, what bot has today here, it will not take you there. So what you have to do, you have to upskill and reskill on a very continuous basis, and currently, the entire learning format is available on your fingertips. The only thing is that don't try to bring the trash, try to focus on the, something which is a tacit. So tacit knowledge is also important, and I think your professors or maybe the people from the corporate, they will be helping in terms of, what is the application of what you are learning in the campus. And that should be a continuous, it should be the DNA of every institute. So that, your learning should go on the continuous basis, on a real time. You should not be a walk, once you are coming into the, say the corporate, and you say, okay, ये भी तो मेरे को पढ़ना था, मैं तो पढ़ नहीं पाया, मैं कर नहीं पाया. Not like, because organization is not, ready to give you that much time for upskilling and reskilling. Gone are the days, when the organization was saying that, okay, I select the students for the attitude and I train for this skill. No, they don't have time. They want ready-made. How many of you go to the tailor and give your, all kind of a measurement for stitching your shirts and pants? It's a ready-made. So you need to be readily available. Very few, I know 5% will be still, they are very sacrosanct, they want, everything should be perfect. But I think now this is a ready-made kind of a world. So even the corporate also, they wanted to see their people ready-made, readily available to deploy for anything, any kind of a project which is required. And that's how the, the strategy of HR is also changing. So a lot of the changes are happening. If you talk of the gig talent or a gig economy, or say circular economy or sustainability, or something which are related with the environment part, and also those all responsibility of not HR, it's the responsibility of everybody. Every employee is responsible to, for the sustainability. So you have to also get into a multi-skilling part and all. Because there is a says, of one of the futurists, his name is Alvin Toffler, he said, the illiterates of the 21st century is not those who can read and write. The illiterates are those who cannot learn, relearn and unlearn. So you have to define your ways, and there are a lot of the people as a mentor, as a coach, as a professor, those who are readily available to handhold you, to guide you, and to take you into the new world of the AI. Thank you.
For sharing the expectations that the industry.
You learn is the only thing that we will get rewarded for, and not just rewarded, that is the only route to survival. The faster we learn, the more rapidly we'll learn, and the more we learn, the better. So that's going to be rewarding.
Thank you, sir. Very rightly said. And IIFT students are well equipped and are running at full pace to learn these things before they enter the industry. And I'm sure that none of the students would, when they will join your company, would disappoint you. I think keeping the check on time, I would now make the floor open to our students, so that some of the questions I'm sure they have in mind for a panel, they should also get an opportunity to ask that. So now the floor is open for the students. Can we help them with a microphone? Yes, please state your name and the panelist. If it is directed to a particular panelist, please state their name as well. Yes.
They say that you need to learn. But my problem is that we are not getting the path in which we have to focus on. For taking my case, I'm an economics graduate, and after seeing the data science and all the bubble before AI, I have learned over more than 30 online courses on data science. And yet, all to know that everything is being trivial. Now you see the CEOs of big tech companies are saying that stop learning coding, because it is going to be like no code and more, it will be just within the reach of a.
There are better.
Very specifically, I think there are a lot of the courses are available, whether it's a Simply Learn or you talk of Coursera or LinkedIn and all. Because if I answer your question, I think AI is everywhere. Okay, so when I say AI, so if you are looking forward, say AI into your space or data science into your space and all, it's always better that you should take some use case. Because if you see, most of the startups, what they are doing, they are taking the use case as a problem statement. They do kind of the hammering, that is the brainstorming. They apply their creativity and innovations and then come up with some solution. Because those solutions are very important, and it is very prevalent also with that particular problem. If I give you the example of the Apple. Apple is most branded company and all, and we know the features they bring every year. Okay, one of the days I bought the fridge and fridge has some problem, then I will call the call center. They will take my the complaint. They will generate the ticket. Then engineer will call. He will take the appointment, and then he will rectify those. But your problem will remain problem because they have already launched the product into the market. Okay. Now the second part, whatever the feedback you are giving, they will take it as a part of their R&D agenda, and they will try to solve that particular problem maybe after a year or 2 years. And when they will launch the new version, they will come with the all those kind of the complaints are already addressed and all. But currently, if you see the way the Apple is working, Apple has a DNA of the design thinking, and if you get into the design thinking concepts and all, it's basically focused, before you design any product or the feature of the product, try to understand the pain of the customer. It should not be reactive, they proactively do all the homework. They talk to the multiple customer with the multiple geography, with the multiple time zones and all, and based on that they create, a kind of a product which has beating, the entire market. If you talk of, rest leaders, whether it's a Samsung or a OnePlus, they all follow the same kind of the features, which has been already launched as a part of, the say Apple 17 or Apple 17 Pro and all. So if you really wanted to go ahead, as Mr. Banerjee said rightly, that you should have very intense kind of interactions with the, the users. So when I'm talking users, it's the corporate one, because now you're leaving, your theoretical base will be already founded here. The foundation is completed. Now how to fly on that? So for flying, you need to understand that now these are the problems which are available with the industry, and I have to pick 3-4 problems and try to see that what I have learned, how it is going to add value to the organization, whether it's a bottom line or a top line. And that's how, you can make yourself relevant forever. And again, the second one, if you want to fail, fail fast. Learn from, what you have done wrong, and then scale up. Hope I answer your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
One is, you need to first figure out what is that you want to do, right? 2 to 3 things you take. You can't be stuck to one particular area. Today, if you come for an interview and if I am an HR head over there and my only thing is how well you can also do another job there. Right? It is just not you. I don't want you to only be a product manager. I probably want you to be a program manager also, right? Or maybe a scrum master, a test engineer, whatever, right? So now you finalize 2 to 3 areas where you want to concentrate and then take up those courses, right? Then it will be streamlined and it is the corporates and how I need to adapt to it, if I've understood properly. You have to look at mentors. Mentorship is something probably very undervalued today. But I've always looked at mentorship as holistic approach for any student. And lot of IITs have asked me this question, where I failed and where I actually, and you can implement it. So mentors are somebody who's just going to tap what is good in you and how well you can perform. So I insist and the experience part. I've gone through 15 years of experience. Manoj has gone through 20 years of experience. Banerjee has gone through another 30 years. Whatever, right? The experience is what? That is why mentoring is extremely important. So all of you, I urge today, the person is, you might not be able to meet that person. So for me, I've always kept Swami Vivekananda as my mentor. Because we had a history of Ramakrishna Ashram and other things in my family, and I started reading about it. Nothing wrong in it, right? One IIT guy told me Modi is my mentor, right? Or somebody else, right? So have that in your mind. And very beautiful line what Manoj told. Today, if I have to hire somebody, what I look at it is, it's not exactly the role. It's the skills, right? Somebody who can learn, unlearn, relearn, right? How do I unlearn, relearn this one? There are a lot of gig, this one, bites are there. If you're not, I'm not a person who can read for a long time books. So I always go for TEDx or podcasts, various way of reading and updating ourselves. I hope we've answered.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Nice
Thank you, sir.
Critical thinking, creativity, extensive collaboration part, and communications. These 5 skills you have to develop during these 2 years of course. This is how you are going to be industry ready. And as she said, setting the mentor, setting the goal. So these are the aspects where you all people have to build up, and this is how you will be industry ready.
Thank you, sir. I think this is all gold advice that we are getting for free today, right? So quickly, let's take up the next question.
Decision making in an organization.
Yes, please.
See, the AI is giving platform for a lot of data analytics aspects. If people did during the organization working frame, they do n number of projects, and all those data, their success and all are available. and on that basis we comfortably match or position them where they are going to be placed, and that is unbiased approach, because we have clear-cut data, supporting data against it. This is how it is going to be more unbiased approach.
Yes, please.
I will just add one example, I think when we talk of the generative AI and all, we all know that OpenAI is the market leader currently. And they have done a lot of, I can say, large data, LLM kind of a scenarios where they have conducted an exam with the 50 students just to, kill the biasness I'm talking of. 3 years back when the version was, I think, 2.0. And after completion of the exam, the medical like NET and all, what we do, they have checked, the number of students who have passed with the percentage and all. And with that particular version of OpenAI, they got around 62% correct. Okay. Then when they come up with the new version, that is the 4.0 and all, they found it is 92% correct. So what I mean to say here, one way with the enhancement in the technology, they are killing the biasness. This is the first part. Second, how they are killing the biasness? Because the machines which is getting trained, that is the ML and deep ML, they are also getting trained and they know how to react. Lot of the reasoning problem, earlier it was, it was the limitations. If I talk of the GPU and all, they have a limitations that they cannot do the reasoning part and all. But now with the new versions, because they are also learning on a continuous basis like us, they are able to solve a lot of the problems related to text, related to video, related to picture. You go to the co-pilot and just say, can you create one flyer which can, give us a kind of things which, for Diwali celebrations? It will take some time because they think and then they start sketching. And the sketching takes time and all. So this is how the technology is evolving, and it is becoming a complement and supplement for us. It's not a challenge for you again. If you see the McKinsey report, they said because of the AI, 92 million jobs will go away. But they will create also 170 million jobs. So it's only a matter of, how quickly you are upskilling and reskilling yourself and make relevant not for today, but for tomorrow and day after tomorrow also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, I'm Devansh. So on the consumer end, we see that companies like Meta, Netflix, they are working heavily to use AI to know the sentiments of the consumers, what they are eating, what they are basically looking for to feed them contents and all the advertisements. Do you think same thing could work internally? Use the term cultural architect for HR. If the HR knows what the mood in the organization is, given we have internal social platform for organization as well, like Viva, Engage and these, though they are boring right now, but eventually even employees can start using them and they can also become more engaging. Do you see HRs can play a role understanding the mood of the organization, allocation of tasks, or do you think that will be too much infiltration of privacy for HR knowing the mood of an employee there?
Something called Amber, okay? Every day morning as a HR head, I go and check and I exactly know what is the mood of my organization, right? It gives me an average, how many people are happy, how many people are not very excited about today's work, right? So that is one. Second thing is, if you look at the recruitment, we have totally made sure that we are using AI from the hiring part until the person exits, right? So it is totally automated. Now you come to the life cycle of the employee, right? He stays in the organization. What are the things what we need to do? So, for example, a communication or a skip level, what we do with the employees. Now, I don't really need to go and sit over there and do a skip level with every employee, right? Because I have an amber in the morning which tells me exactly which section of the society in the organization is happy and which section of the society in the organization is dissatisfied, right? So, this was done not today. So this was like, 10 years back. So just imagine, as one of my friend was telling, the kind of improvement which would have happened today, right? And I do predictive analysis. Now when I do a predictive analysis, I find out a person from IIFT, how long if I hire him in my organization, he will stay. So that is the accuracy what I can actually get. So for example, we did it from a couple of years back, and we got IIMs stay for 1.8 years in any organization, or IITs stay for 2.2 years of this one in an organization. So this is already there. Before I take a person, before I interview the person, I look at the sheet, resume, and I know exactly what the person is going to be, how long he is going to be, and how much 10x, 5x or 1x, what is that I am going to get output from this person. So today, if you ask me, every walk of HR, it is extremely useful, and we are implementing. It is real, actually. And there was one quick example. There was one person for communication in one of the organizations which I work for. Okay. The day ChatGPT came, right? And trust you me when I'm saying this, the day ChatGPT came, because maybe the person had not upgraded or updated to what I was looking at, the person got replaced, right? Because I can just go into the, it's when I tell I, it means my team, right? So the minute I need a mail to be sent across the entire, because I take care of the global operations, right? It has to go for at least about 30 to 40 countries. I just go in and put, as another girl was asking the question, inclusion, and it comes a beautiful mail, even in Copilot or wherever, right? And as Manoj was telling, I don't even use today to make my Diwali greetings anything manually. I don't need a UI person at all. I just go to Gemini AI and I just I just give the stuff and it comes out however I want it. So I think today it is beautifully integrated, and my friend, I'll tell you, today is one of the most, today means the time where we are living, the most beautiful time, because technology and human intelligence has come together. But whatever you do, obviously the human intelligence is going to surpass, right? Whatever, because the machine has to listen to what you tell, right? Machine just cannot perform by itself. It has to listen to you. So it's the most beautiful this one. Make sure that all of you update yourself and find out your way of updation, because everybody has different way of learning, right? Don't panic. As Manoj was telling, if you fail, it's fine actually. Learn from it, but get quick from that failure and start learning why did you fail from that, right? And I think that these are few things which you have to keep in your mind rather than getting panic and other things. And there is a lot of AI which is unnecessarily also being put, because as I told you, it's a washing, AI washing. We just want to be very fashionable. We just want to be and lot of studies have also told that because of using a word AI, lot of angel investors are also investing in company, right? So these kind of things are also there. Be very practical. Choose what are the 3 things what you want to do, how you want to upgrade yourself, and what are the kind of companies you want to get into, and what is that company is expecting, and you sort it and work from today, right? You will have another 1 year, 2 years, work from today, and I'm sure you will get what you require.
Thank you. I think that was beautifully answered, and I hope that this is the answer that he was looking for. So with this, we are also coming towards the end of this panel discussion. If I have to summarize what we have discussed in past 60-65 minutes, is that from the audience point of view, of course, is that first of all, AI is not at all a threat, it is an enabler. And what we need to do is pull up our socks and need to identify that what we need to learn about this technology, how do we integrate this in the current domain and specialization that we are working forward, and train ourselves, look forward to the industry leaders, hear their expectations as often as we can, and prepare ourselves to this beautiful journey where AI is going to be our companion. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the wonderful panel that we had today. I think all the discussions, all the deliberations that we had were very nicely set for the theme that we chose today. And I think a huge round of applause is in order for our panel.